Hi guys, this is Taylor and my eye is mysteriously inflamed, but we're ignoring it, and I'm here today with my August wrap-up. What a weird reading month to start a booktube channel. I've been working full-time this summer and it's caused me to gravitate towards some lighter reads, some kind of like comfort reads. So basically this month is not super indicative of my normal reading habits, but you know. The first thing I completed was Skim by Mariko and Jillian Tamaki. This is a graphic novel about a girl in high school around the time of a classmate's suicide. It's a great graphic novel with gorgeous art. Skim struggles with a lot of things in this graphic novel, including, contemplations about the suicide, body image, relationships, and it's all very nuanced and it's very realistic and kind of gentle. It really put me in the mindset of being a girl in high school and the utter hell that is in retrospect. I really recommend it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. Next, I finally read The Martian by Andy Weir because I was tired of not having read it. You know what this is about. It's about a space program where the protagonist gets left behind because he's assumed dead and he has to survive on Mars. Everyone would say that yes, there's a lot of science in this, but it's totally readable. No? I found the science parts really dry. I think part of what happened here is that my first science fiction that I ever read was Vonnegut, and that spoiled me. Now I always want my sci-fi with a little bit of introspection, and that's just not happening here. But I've heard that the audiobook is really great and hilarious, so if you want to give that a go and you don't have a stick up your ass like me, then by all means go for it. It wasn't for me. I gave it a 2 out of 5 on Goodreads. But think about what Vonnegut could have done with this. Think about it. The next two I read I gravitate toward when I want something really light that I can just speed through and actually read them 2 at a time because they just go that quickly. It's the Royal Diaries series. I have Victoria, the May Blossom of Britannia, and Mary, Queen of Scots, Queen Without a Country. These are middle grade-ish fictionalized diaries of real-life princesses. However, I find that these typically fall into two categories. Ones where the princesses are super badass and they're super engaged in politics, Cleopatra, and ones where they sit around waiting for something. Unfortunately, at least in this account, Victoria was a waiter, and it didn't really make for great reading material. Basically, this is about her being 9 and 10 years old and not really knowing what's going on. But it was still a relatively fun read. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Mary, Queen of Scots was a different story, however. She is a little bit more engaged and cunning, and she did a lot of kind of plotting and scheming in this, which was fun. I don't really know how historically accurate this was, but it was pretty fun to read. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Next, I actually read The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. I wish I could give a better description of this, but it's basically about a man trying to catch a fish. It's that short. This was my first Hemingway ever, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I can highly recommend it, and here's why. I primarily listened to this on audio, and there's a version right here on YouTube that I'll link below that's narrated by Charlton Heston, and he does a fantastic job with it. The entire audio of it is just under 2.5 hours, so I really recommend making an afternoon of it. I would get a snack or something to do with your hands. I got some sewing done while I was reading this. Put on the audio, and then you can say you've read Hemingway's most popular novel. It's a really enjoyable way to pass a few hours. All in all, I gave it a 3 out of 5 on Goodreads. I think I'll have to give Hemingway another go in the future. Then I read Vampirates, Tide of Terror. So I have a friend, and she's an enabler, and she's currently rereading all of the crappy middle grade YA books that she read as a kid, and it's contagious. So when I was 12 or 13, I read 1 through 3 of this series and really enjoyed it, but ended up dropping it. And I recently decided, thanks to my friend, to continue on with this series in preparation for reading the 4th one, which will be the first new one to me. I decided to reread 1 through 3, and so I'll be reading the 4th one in October. Spooky. This series is set in Australia 500 years from now and follows a set of twins who have encounters with both Vampirates and regular pirates. This is the second in the series, so I can't really give a whole lot of plot details, but it does have a boarding school aspect, which is really enjoyable to me. Then, in a great literary juxtaposition, I picked up Fun Home by Alison Bechdel. This is a graphic memoir about Alison growing up in a funeral home and confronting her sexuality and some heavy stuff about her father and the rest of her family. But I'll tell you, this is how to do a graphic novel. The art really contributes to the story, and it aids a lot in the kind of tones and themes that she's going for, and it seamlessly joins the kind of lyrical, beautiful writing that's in here. I really liked this. I gave it a 4 out of 5, and I know I'll be picking up her other graphic memoir, Are You My Mother, in the future. My big exciting read of this month was The Art of Memoir by Mary Karr, which comes out next month. Confession, I haven't actually read her memoirs yet, but this makes me really want to get to know her voice through her memoirs because this is great. This is not just for aspiring memoirists, this also just speaks a lot about self-discovery and creativity in general. This is infinitely quotable, and it has a lot of really great excerpts from other memoirists. It delves really deep into what is truth, what is your personal truth, and honestly at times it was a little bit over my head. But if you're really into kind of digging deep and taking apart concepts and ideas when it comes to writing, then this will be incredibly helpful to you. Plus, it was glowingly blurbed by George Saunders, who is my favorite short story writer of all time. And I didn't realize they were co-workers because they both teach at Syracuse, which is interesting. So that was everything I read in August. I think it's 8 things, which I'm pretty happy with. Let me know what you read in August. I would love to chat in the comments if anybody's watching. I hope you have a great day and a great reading month. I will see you later. Bye!